Hi, this is Pam from Wood Camper Crafts. Thanks for joining us for another crochet tutorial. Today I'm going to teach you how to make this really quick and easy Christmas tree ornament. So this one's a little different than a lot of them out there already because we're going to be working from the bottom up instead of the top down. So let's get started. So we're going to start by making the tree. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. As I said before, we are going to be working from the bottom up instead of the top down. So to start off with, you're going to grab a 5mm crochet hook and you'll need some wool. You can use anything you have lying around at home, but I recommend a super bulky yarn. This one's 100% virgin wool that I purchased online from Lovecrafts. So whatever yarn you choose, always use a smaller hook than it recommends because you want your tree to be firm like this. Let's jump right in and get started. So we're going to start by doing a slip knot. We will insert our hook and we will tighten. And then we're going to start by chaining 15. So yarn over and pull through, that's 1. Yarn over and pull through, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I've chained 15. So I'm now going to start by inserting my hook into the second, so there's the first, the second chain from the hook. And we're just going to be doing a simple slip stitch. So yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. So we're going to do 14 in total. That is 1. So insert your hook, yarn over and pull through both loops. That's 2. Insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over and pull through both loops. That's 3. And we're just going to keep going. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So make sure it doesn't get twisted there. So that's 8 and 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So I'm doing this nice and slowly so that you can just crochet along with me. So you can see I've got 14 slip stitches. So at the end of every row, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. So the next row is going to be a decrease row. So we're going to be using the slip stitch again, but we're going to be working under just that single loop, just right here. So just the loop I'm pointing to. It's actually the front loop. So if you look at your slip stitch from the other side, you can see there's the front loop and the back loop of the slip stitch. So what happens is that back loop of the slip stitch, when you turn your work around, becomes the front loop on the other side. So we're just working under that front loop. So there's my first front loop. I am just going to insert my hook under that single loop, yarn over and pull through all the loops on my hook to complete my first slip stitch. So we're going to do 6 of those. So that's 1, so just under the single loop there, yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. That's 2, and we're going to do 3, so under that single loop, yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. That's 3, 4, 5, and the last one is 6. So it should be easy to find that front loop. It's actually the easiest loop to access when you're crocheting the row. So the next is going to be a decrease. We are going to insert our hook under the next single loop here. We're going to yarn over and pull through. We now have 2 loops on our hook. Instead of completing the stitch, we are going to insert our hook into under the next loop, yarn over, and we're going to pull through all 3 loops on your hook. And that completes your slip stitch 2 together. So we're going to continue on working in that single loop. We're going to be doing 6 more slip stitches. So there's 1. And if you're having trouble identifying that front loop, don't forget you can always turn over and look at your work from the other side. So remember that's the front loop of the slip stitch and the back loop of the slip stitch. And when you turn it around, that back loop becomes your front loop, which is the loop you were working under. So insert your hook under that single loop, and we have 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have 1 more slip stitch to complete the row. That's 6. So once you get to the end of the row, just remember we are going to chain 1 and turn. So we just finished our decrease row. So now this row is just going to be a row of slip stitches. Because we decreased in the other row, we now have 13 stitches in the row. So we're going to be doing 13 slip stitches. So once again, insert your hook just under that single front loop. And we're going to yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook to complete your first slip stitch. So you can just continue on. As I said before, we're doing 13 in total, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and our last one here to make 13. We're at the end of the row. We are going to chain 1 and turn. So we have 13 stitches in the row. Now we're doing a decrease row. So in the last decrease row, we started by doing 6 slip stitches. We're going to do the same thing in this row. Insert your hook under that single stitch, and we're doing 6 slip stitches. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and our last one here before our decrease, this is 6. So now we're going to do our slip stitch 2 together. Insert your hook under the next loop, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook. Then insert your hook into the next loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook to complete your slip stitch 2 together. So now we only have 5 stitches remaining, so we're going to do 5 slip stitches. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we finished our decrease here. We had 13 stitches. Now with the decrease we have 12. We're going to chain 1 and turn. So we just finished a decrease row, so we're just going to do 12 slip stitches now. Insert your hook under the first loop, yarn over and pull through all the loops. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes you need to give it a helping hand. It's hard to get your hook in there. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 2 more after this. 11. And now we've got our last one, makes 12. So we're at the end of the row. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and now we've got a decrease row. So we did 6, 6, and now we're going to do 5 and 5 on our decrease rows. So you're going to start seeing a pattern here. You're going to insert your hook under the first loop, and that's 1 slip stitch, 2, so we're doing 5, 3, 4, and 5. So now we're going to do the slip stitch 2 together, so insert your hook under the next loop, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook. Insert your hook under the next loop, yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook to complete the slip stitch 2 together. So now we're going to finish off the row. We have 5 slip stitches to do. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one is 5. So you can see what it looks like here now that we did that decrease stitch. We now have 11 stitches in our row. So we are going to chain 1 and turn.
And we're going to do 11 slip stitches. So here's our first one just under that single loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and our last one here is 11. And we're done. We are going to chain 1 and turn. So now we're doing a decrease row. So in this row we're going to do 5 slip stitches and then a decrease. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're ready for our decrease now. We're going to insert our hook under the next loop, yarn over and pull through. We have 2 loops on our hook. Insert into under the next loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 to complete your slip stitch 2 together. So we have 4 more stitches left. We're going to do 4 slip stitches. So insert your hook under the next loop, yarn over and pull through. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we are at the end of the row here. We now have 10 stitches in our row. We're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to be doing 10 slip stitches all the way across. So here's our first one, and we're working 10. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and our last one here is 10. So we've got 10 slip stitches all the way across. We are going to chain 1 and turn. Now we're on a decrease row. So in this row, we are going to do 4 slip stitches before we do our decrease. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Going to do our decrease now. Insert your hook under the next loop, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook. Insert under the next loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops to complete the slip stitch 2 together. So we have 4 slip stitches to complete the row. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we've finished this row. We're going to chain 1 and turn. So now we're going to do a row of 9 slip stitches all the way across. So I'm going to do my first one here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sometimes it's hard to get in there. You have to give yourself a helping hand. I use my nail a bit. That's 7, 8, and the last one here is 9. So we have 9 slip stitches all the way across, and we are going to chain 1 and turn. So next we have a decrease row. We're going to do 4 slip stitches before our decrease. So here's our first one. 1, 2, 3, and 4 slip stitches. So we're going to do our decrease, insert our hook, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through all 3 to complete your slip stitch 2 together. So now we're going to do 3 slip stitches. So that's 1, 2, and 3. We are going to chain 1 and turn, and now we have 8 stitches, so we're going to do 8 slip stitches all the way across. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and our final slip stitch is 8. So we've got 8 slip stitches all the way across, and we are going to do our chain 1 and turn and do our decrease row. So in this row we're going to do 3 slip stitches before we start our decrease. So working under that front loop only, that's 1, 2, and 3. We're going to do our decrease now, insert our hook, yarn over and pull through. You've got 2 loops on your hook, insert under the next loop, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops to complete your slip stitch 2 together. So insert your hook into the next, and we're doing 3 more slip stitches. 1, 2, and we have our third and final here. So we're finished the row, and we are going to chain 1 and turn. So now we are going to do 7 slip stitches all the way across. So here's our first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and our final slip stitch makes 7 in the row. We are going to chain 1 and turn. So I just wanted to stop here quickly for a moment and show you what it's going to look like when it's all done. So this is your little Christmas tree ornament. You can put any color ribbon or string on it that you want, but that's just what it's going to look like when it's done. So let's just continue on here. We had just finished a row of 7 slip stitches, so this is a row of decrease. We are going to do 3 slip stitches followed by our decrease. So that's 1, and then we're going to do 2 here, and 3. So we have 3 slip stitches, and we're going to do our decrease now. So insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. You have the 2 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through all through 3 loops on your hook to complete the slip stitch 2 together. So we just have 2 more slip stitches to complete this row. So there's 1, and our final one here, 2. So we've just completed our row, and we now have 6 stitches in our row. We are going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to do a row of 6 slip stitches all the way across. So here's our first one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last one here is 6. So we're going to chain 1 and turn.
So our next row is a decrease row. This time we're going to start by doing 2 slip stitches. 1, 2, and then we're going to do our slip stitch 2 together. So insert your hook, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through all the loops to complete your slip stitch 2 together. So then we're doing 2 more slip stitches. 1, 2, and we've completed our row. We're going to chain 1 and turn. So this time we're not going to do just plain slip stitches. We are going to do a decrease again. So we are going to do 2 slip stitches. So here's our first one. 1, and now 2. And then we're going to decrease again. So insert your hook, yarn, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook to complete the slip stitch 2 together. So we have 1 more slip stitch to complete this row. There we go. We have 4 stitches in total, and we are going to insert our hook there again. So chain 1 and turn. So now we're going to decrease again. We're going to do a slip stitch in the first stitch, and then we're going to decrease, insert your hook, yarn over, and then insert your hook again, and yarn over, pull through all the loops on your hook, and then we're going to do a slip stitch in the last stitch here, yarn over, and we've got 3 stitches in our row now. So we're almost done. We just have our final stitch to do here. We're going to insert our hook, chain 1 and turn, and we're going to do a decrease stitch using the puff stitch. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook under that first loop, yarn over and pull through. Then we are going to yarn over again, insert our hook into the next loop, yarn over and pull through. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on our hook. Yarn over again and insert your hook under that final loop. And we're going to yarn over and pull through. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops on our hook. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 7 loops. And there we're done. We've got that puff stitch at the top of our tree there. So I'm just going to grab my scissors here. I'm going to leave a nice long tail, and I'm just going to cut that. Then I'm going to grab my hook and insert it again into the loop. I'm going to yarn over and pull through and just take my hook off here, leaving a loop, and then I'm going to pull the end through and tighten, creating a knot. So there we go, nice and tight. We're all done. So we just have the 2 ends here now that we're going to weave in. So I'm just going to grab my needle here, and I'm going to thread the yarn through. And then I'm just going to weave in my ends. I already have a knot at the end, so I don't really have to worry too much about it coming loose. So I'm just going to work under the puff stitch here, and then just work under a few stitches just along the side here. Don't have to do that many. And then I'm just going to pull my needle through here. It's a little caught, there we go. Straighten it up. I'm going to grab my scissors, and I'm just going to cut that end. And we're all done. So I've just got one more end that I need to weave in. So I'm just going to do the same technique that I did. I'm going to grab my needle. I'm going to thread the needle. And then I'm going to work under just a few stitches here along the edge. You don't have to do too many. There we go. And I'm just going to pull it through and grab my scissors again. And we're going to cut this end. And then we're all done. We've finished the tree, we've weaved in our ends, and this is what it looks like when you're all done. So now you're going to want to grab some yarn for the base of your tree. I'm using another super bulky yarn, the Lions brand Wool Ease Thick and Quick, but you can use anything that you have at home. So we're just going to start by inserting our hook into the 5th chain. So just count 5, insert your hook, and then grab your new yarn, yarn over there, and pull through. So we're going to start by chaining 1, and the chain 1 is actually going to be used as a stitch. So there's 1, insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over, and we're doing a slip stitch. And then we're going to do 1 more slip stitch, and then our final slip stitch. And then we're going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to do 4 slip stitches here. Once again, only working in that front loop only, just like we were doing before. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do a final slip stitch just in that chain. It's kind of hard to get in here. You might have to give it a helping hand. Yarn over and pull through. And then we're going to chain one and turn. Oops, that didn't work out too well. I'm going to just take that out and try that again. So I'm going to insert my hook into that final chain, yarn over, and complete my slip stitch. Chain one and turn. So we're doing 4 more slip stitches working in that front loop only. So there's 1 and 2. To give it a helping hand there. And 3. And then our final one here is 4. And there we go. We're finished. And if you want, you can make your base longer, but I just do it a small little base. So you can see what it looks like here. And then we are going to just grab our scissors and cut the end. And we are going to grab our hook and pull that end through and pull tight to knot. And then once again, like we did before, we are just going to weave in those 2 ends. And since I've already showed you how to weave in the ends, I'm just going to fast forward this part. We are all finished our crocheted tree, and this is what it looks like when it's all done. So now we just have to do the final steps. You need to grab a piece of twine. I used just string before, only because I couldn't find my twine. So now that I have my twine, this is what I'm going to use. So grab a hook. It's easier if sometimes you grab a smaller hook than you were using, and pull your twine through here. You want to keep it looped like that, and then you're going to pull both ends through. You want to make sure the ends are even though, so I'm just going to even them out here. And then I'm going to take both ends and I am just going to pull them through the loop, and I'm going to tighten. Just pull tight like that. And then I'm going to take the 2 ends and I'm just going to knot them. You can adjust it to make it any length that you want. So just pull tight to knot. And then I'm going to grab my scissors. I want the ends nice and even and shorter, so I'm just going to cut them there. So there you go. You now have a string to hang your ornament. So we're just going to do the final touch here. So our last step is putting on the bow. I'm using just white ribbon just because this is all I had at home. There are lots of options. You can use any color that you want. So I'm just going to take the ribbon and tie it in a knot. And tie that tight. Just going to straighten it up here. And then I'm going to tie a bow. It's a little hard to do this here on camera, but I will do my best. So there we go. We have a bow. And that is the final step. So we're all done here. We've finished our Christmas tree ornament. So thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel. And if you like this Christmas tree crochet pattern, we're actually working on another video right now where we're using the same pattern but in a different way. We'll give you a little hint. It involves collecting wood outside. So we'll catch you in our next video.